Good morning, everybody. So I've started the recording. So today I was planning on working on lesson 12, which is interactivity, continuing with that. There may be questions about publishing your website. There may be questions about switching from a 3 to a 2 column format. How do you do that with your final website, if that's what you want to do? You may have issues with what is it? Shoot, the wow slider. So any questions you might have? Let's start with you, Dan, and let me see if I can't help you figure it out. You there, Dan?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, for one, I tried uploading to the Infinity Free, and
it's not showing
it
up.
should. Well, I think what happened was my index page got messed up or something, and I
Okay.
tried to fix it, but whatever I did it's not working. And at first, when you would go to the Infinity Free, all it would do is have a page with all the files on it. You know, it shows the CSS, the JS, the image, the resources, and then the HTMLs. But it would never show the home screen. And then I guess I was trying to fix it, and
Okay, so probably my guess is if styles aren't showing up or some other things, there's a couple of things that could go wrong. When you update, you have to make sure that you update the links as well. And if that doesn't occur, if that doesn't happen, then you need to relink everything and upload it again. So let me show you on mine what possibly could be wrong. I'll show you, and I'll show you what could go wrong. So make sure, number one, that you're putting everything in the HT docs.
right.
That goes there. And if you see everything here, if you see the CSS folder, that is for the bootstrap. So you leave that alone. But it's possible that you have accidentally not updated the links. So if you're not seeing the styling that's provided by Bootstrap, that needs to be relinked and updated. The same goes for your CSS, your green styles CSS, or So let me show you what happens when that gets broken. So I'm going to go back here again. Let's go ahead. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to switch to CSS Design. Now over to the right, when you have the CSS Designer tab selected, you should see Bootstrap and you should see your green styles. Now, even if you see them, the path may be broken. Was that one of the things that's, if I'm understanding correctly, it's not looking right? That you might just see text or you see some things?
Is that well, that's my other issue, is that when I open up Dreamweaver, like the last thing I worked on shows up in the files tab, but
okay,
the
then
thing I was working on.
Let's go back one step further. Make sure that you go to that you have manage your sites. So go to manage sites and make sure that you have the site that you created visible. And then you also go into the site itself and make sure that you have the correct root folder selected. And then under advanced settings, make sure that you have the correct image folder selected. linked, which should be contained inside that root folder. Make sure
Yeah.
that those are, because if you accidentally link to a previous lesson or another lesson and you upload the files, it will not work.
Yeah, I think because I have that set, where it's highlighted. Like right now, I have it's set for, even though I've been working on lesson 11, I have it set for lesson 12.
Yeah, no,
And
you can't do that. You can't do that.
uh,
That
oh,
could be where part of the problem lies, because see, then the path goes when, even though it's up, when you publish your files, because the folders and the images are linked, they're linked to a path that you've created that goes to folder 12.
hmm,
And it can't find folder 12. It can't find that path. It's, because you have everything in lesson 11. So for example, with the styles that I was talking about, right now the styles are correctly linked, but this could be easily linked to lesson 11. I'm in lesson 12 right now. But what I would do is first go back and manage your site and make sure it's linked to the correct path, and then save it all and upload it again. If that doesn't fix the styles, but that could be a problem too, is that, for example, I'll remove the styles from here, and I'm going to move the finished green styles from here too. You can see what happens. Is this anything like what your website is looking like?
hold on. Yeah, it looks something like that, but
Okay, so
actually, it doesn't even have that. Like I said, it lists the files. Like, when you go to files, on the right, when you go to the
okay,
files
it,
tab,
it could make sure that it's that
it
you
it
uploaded it into the correct folder.
hmm,
That could be
well
the issue too. See if I
well
go
the
back, make sure that it
oh,
goes into the htdocs folder. If it
okay,
doesn't go in there, then it won't show correctly.
okay.
It won't publish correctly.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Got it. I
This is
changed.
the part of web design. Well, there's lots of parts of web design that will drive you nuts, but especially after you have worked hard in getting everything published correctly or built correctly and you want to publish it, and then it doesn't publish right. That make sure that these paths work to your host. So check that and make sure that works. But again, to make sure that this is fixed now, what I need to go back to do is go back to CSS Designer, and here I can go ahead and under all sources, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reload those and watch how they're fixed. If I attach an existing CSS file, I want to make sure when I browse for this that it goes to the correct folder. Now I'm working in lesson 12, so I want to make sure that it's linked to my lesson 12 folder. If you're working in lesson 11, make sure that it's linked to the lesson 11 folder. And now I will link it to the Bootstrap CSS. And now watch how this miraculously changes. And I'll go ahead and I'll link it. Boom. Notice how the links are working. The nav bar, it doesn't, it's not styled the way that we did it in the lessons, but it's laid out correctly. I have my 3 columns, I have my nav bar, I have my footer, and now I'll do one more thing. I'll click here, and again, I'll attach the style sheet that we created for green styles. So I'm going to use the finished ones because that's the one that I'm looking for. So here's the green styles finished. And I click that and I make sure that that is linked. I don't want to import it, I want to link it. And that's true with the Bootstrap as well. And now watch, boom. It's something as simple as that can make a world of difference. I have the feeling you need to go back and make sure that you have the correct root folder and image folder contained within that root folder linked, and then update everything again. publish it again and see if it works. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to try
Try that out, and then get back to me if it doesn't. And then what we can do, I can't do it today because I have a meeting at 11, but we can set up a separate meeting, or we can do it on Tuesday, and I'll let you share your screen, and I can help you fix it if it doesn't work.
Okay.
So the next thing, some people wanted to know, how do you switch from a 3 to a 2-column format? Now, I would make sure that we keep the green styles template. Okay, that's what we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to make sure that it's saved all. So everything is saved. We update it all. And I close it so that everything is current. So if I want to create a second template that is for a 2-column, remember that right now we have 3 columns and we have 2 asides, which each consist of 3 units. So that's 3 units, 3 units. And then we have our main content, which is 6 units. Remember that the whole row has to add up to 12 units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page from the template, the current 3-column template that we have. This is one way of doing it. You could go all the way back in the lessons, but I'm trying to do it from the most recent lesson. So if you completed lesson 11, this would be my choice. Okay. So there we go. But remember, when you create a page from a template, if you've locked down certain regions, what we have to do now is we have to detach it from the template to maybe be able to make a new template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Templates. Oh, come on. Make sure that this is selected. And I'm going to go to Tools, Templates. Why aren't you allowing me to do? Oh, I haven't saved it. That would be helpful, huh? So let me go ahead and save this. File, save as, and I'm going to name it. I'll name it 2-column. So 2-column HTML. Yeah, see, it's goofed. So let me see, there's a split view. When I go back to, I'm in live view. Well, let me goof, I goofed. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close this. And I'm gonna go back to my green styles template. And let me try again. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna go to File, New, from Template. There we go. Okay, I'm going to switch to Design View. And I'm going to go to Tools. And I'm going to go to Templates. And I'm going to detach from Template. There we go. Now I can go back to Live View. Okay, so now this is just a plain old page. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it again. File, Save As. And I'll name it 2-column, or I'll overwrite the other one that I did that wasn't thinking about something. I'll replace the old with the new. Okay, and we have an issue. So can anybody tell me what they think is going wrong here?
It's not referring to your template page?
Well, it's not referring to the, somehow the green styles is messed up. The rest of this, the bootstrap is working, but this isn't. So I'm going to delete this. Okay. And I'm going to reattach and hopefully it works. So I'm going to attach an existing, not a new CSS file, but an existing one on a browse. And I'm in lesson 12. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the finished one again. And hopefully it will be correct. So here's the finished one. Let's go ahead and open it and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then I goof things up. And I goof things up. So I'm going to delete this again. And I'm going to go back to an earlier version. So that would be, maybe I need to go back to lesson 11, but and I'm going to go ahead and attach just the current one. And we'll see if that works. So I'm going to use this green styles and see if that works. And that one works. So I corrupted the finished green style somehow. So I need to reload that to get that to work. But this is working right now. So this will serve me well to switch to a 2-column. So what I'm going to do is I have to first decide, do you want one of the columns to be on the left, or do you want one of the columns to be on the right? Well, I'm going to make my 2-column, the small column on the left and the main column on the right. So I need to get rid of this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select the aside, the entire aside. And from the code view, okay, I'll just, with all of this highlighted, the entire aside, I'm going to delete it. Boom, it's gone. But there's still a hole here. So what I need to do is I need to decide, do I want the column to the left to remain 3 units? If I do, I can leave that alone. But then the main column, okay, the article that is here, is currently 6 units. So that means, because I eliminated 3 units, I need to add 3 units to it. So it fills up this right dead space, the space to the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to again click in here, and then I'm going to select article. And you'll remember from the previous lesson, we had column, medium 6, and column, we had to push 3 units. So now what I have to decide is I probably only need a small, but let's go ahead and fix all of this. So I'm going to leave the push 3, but I want it to be 9 units. So if I come back in here and select 9, okay, now notice what happens, okay? I've made that bigger, but now I need to take the other column, this one over here. So let's take that aside. And I need to pull this over, not 6 units, but 9 units. And now that fixes that. Okay. And we can test it now. Let's go from here and see how that works. And it works fine for a small screen. It works nice for one really small for a smartphone, maybe one of the new iPhone minis or whatever. And then we have it for a small screen and a medium screen. But now what I want to do is, if I want to save this, I can leave it as a page, just unattached to anything. But I can also save this as a template as well. So what I'll do from here is I'll go ahead and I'll have 2 templates, one for 3-column and one for 2-column. So I'll go to File, okay, and it's not going to let me save this as a template. Why not? So let's go back again. Make sure that everything is saved. That would be helpful. So I'll say save all. And now what I want to do is I want to, it's not going to allow me to save it as a template. So what am I doing wrong? Let me go back here and go to design view, live view, sort of refresh, file. Well, let me see if I can't save it as a template from here. And I don't think I can. Why it's not allowing me to save as template, I'm not sure. So, because I did do it for another one. So if I look at files here, you can see under templates, I did this the other day for a 2-column template. And I had a similar issue and I was able to fix it. And now I'm forgetting or not sure why this is not working. So file. Well, let me just say new file. Let me try one for my 2-column one that I did save. No, not yet. Oh, crap. Let me save again. Save as, and I'm just going to save it as version 1, 2-column version 1, or 2 rather, will be version 2. Let's save it. And now we'll see again. No, not working. So let me go back to my CSS designers and see what we have here. We have the same bootstrap. We have the same green styles. I'm at a loss at the moment. So, as I said, let me go ahead and open up the one that I did create. So here is my 2-column that I did save, and this is, the template. Okay. And I have the template opened, and if I go ahead and go to File, New from Template, and I use my 2-column format, let's go ahead and create a new one. Let's see if I saved editable regions. And I didn't. See, so this is working. There are no editable regions. So if I go back to my 2-column format here, then I can select from here. So let's go back to, I don't want the HTML, I want the, oh, I don't have it open. So let me go ahead and open the template. That's where I have to do that. Come on. Come on, open it up. Oh, here it is. It is open right now. So now what I need to do is I need to select this region, article. And with it selected, I can go ahead and under tools, under templates. Okay, no, let's go ahead and select it again. Under article, insert. I want to create an editable region and it won't allow me to do it. So why not? Even though I am working from the template. So this is another example with everything working really beautifully one time and not now. So hold on. Okay, then I could have, Yeah, the same would be for a one column. So the style should be inside my root folder. So if, again, by me fiddling with this, I could have messed up the paths to these. So everything should be in here. Let me just go back and check again. Let me go to, always start with back with the basics. I'm going to go back to manage sites. And here's, for my 2020, I'm going to make sure that it's lesson 12. Because that's what I'm working on. Here is lesson 12. So that's chosen. Okay. Let's go to advanced settings. Let's go to local info. And I'm going to select again for my image folder and make sure that it too is inside lesson 12. And then I select my image folder inside lesson 12. I'll choose that. I'll save it all. Okay. Okay. So I've used it for a previous lesson, so hopefully everything is working now. So let's try again. So what I can do now with the 2-column template is with the articles selected. Let's go back again and let's go to tools or insert template. No? Okay. It's in the template folder. Let's try this one again. I'm going to go back to this one. Now this one, oh, this is blank. Boy, I've totally messed this up. Let's go to this 2-column one, HTML. And yeah, I've messed something up and I apologize. I'm going to have to go back again. Let me try it for a 1-column. I'm going to go all the way back to our green styles template and do the same thing. So hopefully everything is working here. I'm going to close some of these files because I'm getting confused now.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one having issues.
Okay, so let's go back. I got my green style template. So let's try that. That's what I was working from originally here. And it might be, you know what, that it was I was working from no, it should still be there. So let me try again. I'm going to go ahead. Now we're going to do a 1-column. So I'll just select a new from my green styles template, a new file. And so here's untitled. So what I have to do with this is I have to detach it. So I'll switch from live view to design view. And then I'll go to tools, I'll go to templates and detach from template. Okay. Now let's go back to live view. And now what I want is I want to keep the main one. So I'm going to get rid of the left side. So let's click in here and I have block quote, article, main. Come on. I want the main aside. There we go. So here is our left aside. And again, from the code view, I'm just going to go ahead and remove all of it. Boom. I'll do the same for the right aside. Make sure that the right aside is selected down here with the tag selector, quick tag selector. And again, from code view, from the opening to the closing tag here, I'll get rid of that. But again, you'll notice that I have a one column format now, the main side, main row, but you'll notice that the article is set for, I mean, I don't need all of these others, push and pull and that sort of thing. So I can get rid of a bunch of this stuff. I'm going to leave it for small. So I'm going to get rid of the medium ones. I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. Okay, so notice how that changed. And now what I want for column small, I'm going to make this 12. 1, 2. And push. Notice how it's pushing it over off the chart here. So I can get rid of the push. I don't need that. So now I have my one column format. So let me go ahead and save this as try and save this, and it's not going to allow me to save this as a template again. So again, I've screwed something up. So on Tuesday, I'll go back and I'm going to start fresh and see what I did wrong. So why I can't save this as a template now. You could work with the individual pages, but according to Natalie, it says that my green styles file wasn't in the site root folder. So mine, I think I have it attached to the correct one. I can go back and try to do that again. I can go back to CSS Designer and, oh, I have the finished ones. So let me take this one. I could use a different one. I think because I'm using lesson 12 and trying to do it, it might be easier if I went back to lesson 8. I don't know, to be perfectly honest. I could switch to the, instead of green styles finished, I could switch and remove this. And let's go back and use the greens, just plain old green styles, and see if that doesn't help. The one that they use at the beginning of the file, or the beginning of the lesson. So let's try this one. Okay, now let's see. No, that's not it. So let me just save all. Actually save as, and I'm going to name it 2 column as well. So again, name it 1 column. And see. And I saved it in the finished, and maybe that's part of my problem. I just want to save it in the lesson 12 folder, perhaps. And now let's go back again. Now I can save it as a template. That was my problem before. I was saving it in the finished folder that the book provides us, and now I can save this as a template. So let's do the same thing. Let me go back and open the 2 column file that I had. File open. And let's open, it's probably in the finished folder. Yeah, that's okay. That was my mistake. I put it in there. So I'm going to open that one. So there's my 2 column format. And I'm going to save it and make sure that it's saved. Save as. I don't want it in the finished folder. That is where I made my mistake. Okay, I just want it in the lesson 12 folder. And I'll replace it. Update links, yes. Okay, so now I should be able to. No, that's not right. So let me try again. File, save as. Let's make sure that it's not in templates, that it's in finished. 2 column HTML, 1 column HTML. Let's try again. Save, replace. No, so why is my one column working and not my two column? Well, I have two column HTMLs. So here's this one. This one is working, the one column. So if I go back again, I can save this as a template and I'll name it as one column Dreamweaver template. Okay, update links, you betcha. So now this becomes a template. So let me go back again. By doing this, I'm getting confused and trying to be succinct and on the money for all of you guys, and it's not working. So let me try this one again. This is my two column one. I'm going to do save as again. And this one is going in the finished one. So somehow I have to go back to this one. So I might be getting these confused. I could very well. So I want it to be inside the lesson 12 root folder, not inside the finished folder. And I will replace update links. Yes. Now let's see. No, it won't let me save it as a template. So I don't know why. So I'm still doing something wrong. I'll go back and I will correct these, but I think I have you in template isn't in the folder. It could be, it could be. Let me go back to the two column. Let's go back to the two column. Let's go back to my files. And let's look in the templates folder. And here is my two column template right here. So I'll go ahead and I'll open up this one, make sure that it's open. Here's my two column template. And I'm going to close the two column HTML, this two column HTML. And based on the template, I'll go ahead again. I'm going to file new from the template. And I want it to be the two column. So here's my unfinished. And this is an older one that I did, what I did. So that could be part of my problem. I used 4 columns or 4 units and 8 units. Again, they add up to 12. So that could be part of my problem. I was using the wrong one. So now let's go ahead and save this as file, save as, and I'll name this two column. HTML, and I want it again inside lesson 12. I don't want it inside the template folder. I'm going to save the old, or replace the old with the new. And now let's see if I can't save this as a template. There we go. So I'll go back again and I'll save this one as two columns. So somehow I was getting them confused. But the first thing that you have to do is you have to, and now this is, a new page from the template. So we need to go back to the template. And I already had a new two column template. So, here's the replacement. So I'll close this one. So let's go back to this template. And remember, you need to create the editable regions. So let's select this again and see if I can't get this working. So let's select the aside. Come on. Let's go back in here. Yeah, because none of these are editable regions. So let's select the main article. Well, maybe let me just close it all and open it back up. So here's my two column template. And let's select again. And select the, there we go, the main aside. And let's go to Tools, Templates. No, Insert Template, and it won't allow me to do the editable region. So again, I'm still making mistakes here, one by one. I'm gradually creating some, my 1, 2, and 3 column templates. But let's go back again to, let's go to the My Green template and open it up and see what I have. Okay. So see why I can't do that. Let's go back and select the article. Let's insert template. And this is grayed out too. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong at the moment. I'm going to have to go back and come back to you guys on Tuesday and figure out, where I've messed up. So I'm going to clean up the entire root folder and work from scratch and build it again. That's the safest way of doing this. Because as I'm talking to you and I'm trying to work through this, and I'm clearly, not thinking clearly and making mistakes along the way, and that's not good. So I don't know if I've helped you guys this morning, going from 1 to 2 to 3 columns, but that's basically how you do it. And hopefully you can go in with yours, and if they're saved in the right location, you can create your editable regions. That's the one thing that I'm missing now from each of these templates. So, maybe if I were to switch to design view, I don't know. And I have the article selected, and then I can go to insert. Yeah, Dan.
I guess the question I have is, say when we close Dreamweaver and we go to open it back up, how do you get it to where it loads up all the tabs up there? Because like right now, when I open it up, like my site is already over there on the right on the files. And then I have to manually click each of the HTMLs to get them to load up on the tabs at the top. Is there a way to like?
There should be in preferences, Dreamweaver preferences, because I know for mine, and I can't tell you where exactly, but on when you load up, it will automatically load everything that you had left open from before. It says open documents and tabs, and it could be here under general. I'm not sure under which one.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest, but check in the preferences, and that's where that will be, so that when you quit Dreamweaver and you open it back up, all the files that you had left open will reopen.
Okay.
And I think the mistake I was making before, so let's go back and let's go back to the 2 column before we finish up today. I'm going to select the aside. I'm going to switch from live view to design view. Okay, so let's again select the aside. And now I'm going to go to insert template editable region. So maybe that's what I was forgetting. And we'll call it aside. And now when I go back to live view, this should be an editable region. I'll do the same for the main one here. So I'm going to switch and select the main content here under the article. Okay. And I'll go ahead and with it selected, I'll go back to design view. Make sure that the article is selected. There we go. And again, let's go to insert, template, editable region. And we'll call it main content. Click OK. Now let's go back to live view. And I'm going to save all. And now let's go ahead and create new from template. This is my 2-column. There we go. So I fixed it. My mistake was not going to design view to create my editable regions. Why I forgot, I don't know. And why you have to go back to design view to create the editable regions, I don't know. That's one of the things that I frequently forget, that sometimes there's only certain things that you can do in design view, and you have to switch back to live view. So I hope I haven't confused you guys. I can do it again. Now that I've made all my mistakes here. I can do it again on Tuesday, and hopefully I will remember all the mistakes that I made and go back and do a clean version of this and replace the video that I'm about to publish with the newer, cleaner version so that you guys can get this to work.
Awesome. Sounds good.
But that's basically what you have to do. So you're going to be working from 3 templates, or you don't need a template at all. It just, you have to remember that if you make changes to regions like your nav bar, if the page is not created from a template, you have to remember for every page you create, you're going to have to update those pages individually. Does that make sense to everybody?
Sure.
Yeah. So, but now I have 3 templates, and I can create a 1, 2, or 3 column page based on each of those templates. And you just have to remember to create your editable regions. And I don't think there should be an issue with the styles that we've created, but that if you notice some glitches in styles, you may have to go back and edit the styles as well to make sure that they conform to a 1, 2, or 3 column format. But I don't think it should be an issue. For example, putting in with a 2 column format, in the main content here, inserting a table, how is that going to look? I'm not sure. So we may have to make some changes, but I don't think so. Maybe to the individual styles for the cells, for the columns and that sort of thing, to make it fit to a larger, area, because it was pretty compressed before. So that might be a possibility, going one at a time. So there you have it. I got to go. I got another meeting, a division meeting I have to attend. And while I have you guys here, I'll show you. This is the newer version that I have. Let me go. There we go. That's my Photoshop view. Can you see that, Dan?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, it's the walls look better. So more even.
Yeah, nice job. Good job also on the volumetric lighting stuff up there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I thought that added a nice little touch, just to add a little bit more volume to the space. And then just, I don't know whether it needed lens flare or not, but I added it on a couple of them. But that, yeah, just going back, for as long as I've been working on this now, early on, I couldn't figure out why the walls were messed up. And then I just said, okay, I give up. So I, went back to my file, my original file, and just selected the walls, and I swapped them out, and that was it. That's all it took, and it cleaned it up immediately. And what went wrong? How did I corrupt them? I don't have a clue. I don't know whether it was, double walls on top of one another that were causing an issue that I couldn't detect. That maybe I copied and pasted early on when I shouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know. It's the same kind of mistakes that I'm making here for you guys this morning. It's I don't know until I grope around, and sometimes I have to go back and sort of start from scratch and rebuild it and go, okay, that's where I made my mistake, or I don't know where I made my mistake. Now it's working, and save it, and I'm good to go. So
that's cool.
So it works for 3D modeling, my mistakes. It works for web design. It's all that sort of thing. I wish I could do it a little bit more smoothly for all of you, but I think it's good to know. I mean, this sounds like a cop-out, but to see me make the mistakes and then to go back and then on the fly, as I'm talking to you, to correct them, because you're going to do the same thing. You're going to think everything is supposed to work, and it's not. What do I need to do? And you just kind of go back one at a time and, check each of the things, check, your site, check your links, check this, check that, delete, start over again, and gradually you'll figure it out. Like this last one. How did I forget that in order to make editable regions, you need to go back to design view. And I don't know why I forgot that. So now we're good to go. I have a couple more in the chat. Oh, okay, I think that's it. I think we've got everything. Yeah, it is simple and not so. Yeah, with web design. There are certain things that are very simple, but if you forget one little thing, just one little thing, and sometimes I'll have one, especially when I'm talking to all of you, I'll have a brain freeze, and what am I just not thinking about? And I have to go back, and I'm trying to do it on the fly, and invariably, 9 times out of 10, as soon as I stop the webinar and I go back and go, that's what I forgot. And I go back and fix it. So that's what happens, guys, when you get older. I'm going to use age as an excuse right now.
Fair enough.
Okay, folks. So thank you very much. I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to say goodbye. Everybody have a good weekend.
You too.
See you Tuesday.